Hey everybody, John with Tidewater Gardening. Sorry I've been gone so long. We're getting ready to show y'all a little bit what's happening here in the garden. It's been a nice couple days and the temperature's been up and it hasn't been raining, so that's why I'm out here doing this right here. It's going to be something that's going to be very important, especially in these hot 90-degree days, is making sure that your plants are nice and watered. And you know, for the most part, I know everybody has a 9 to 5 and they're working, and you know, if you can in the morning, get up early enough and put a little bit of water on it before you go to work. That would definitely help out. As if you can't, you know, as soon as you get home, you know, 5:30, you need to make sure you get out here and start soaking these guys. You'll run into, you're going to run into some wilting. But what has happened with me is I've run into it here, and within 10 minutes of putting water on these guys, you know, they've straightened back out and everything's been good. So, but these right here, these are the onions and garlic that we planted a couple months ago. We've been having a lot of problems with weeds, which we'll address that soon. We're gonna probably have to get in here and pull them by hand. Another thing we've got going on is asparagus right here. Asparagus has really come up. I bought these 3 asparagus roots from Walmart and planted these, and I didn't think anything was going to come up for a long time, and then one morning I woke up and boom, they were up. So if you can see here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got about 4 stalks coming up, which it takes about 3 years to get a really good asparagus crop. So that's why I place them in these pots, so I can keep it mobile in case I go somewhere. Another thing you want to look at, these are my potatoes. Potatoes have really come up here. And what I'm going to do with these, once these little ones right here get another 4 inches, I'm going to fill it back in with some topsoil. That way you can get, you'll promote more potato growth. And you're supposed to be able to get, you know, 50 pounds of potatoes out of these boxes. So I'm going to give it a shot and see how everybody goes, how it works out. So, and like I said, we've been battling weeds in here, and we haven't had the chance to get in and thin anything out. But we've got, where I'm watering here, I've got some spring onions, and they've been doing really good. Then coming up here, I've got, these are called Early Girl tomatoes, and they're about ready to be, this one definitely right here needs to be staked up. He's falling over. Or actually, I should say she's falling over. Then over here, I've got some, if you look right there, I've got some Mexican sour gherkin cucumbers coming up, which I've never had them before, but I think they'll most likely be delicious. And yes, Junie's still helping me out in the garden. She takes care of the weeding on the outside of the beds. Come over here. I got a couple more early girls that are looking good. And celery. I'm really impressed with the celery. Celery's really popped up in the past 2 or 3 days. But I've noticed that it's really got to be, these have got to be watered quite a bit. And you can see here I've got my regular cucumbers coming up as well. That's what the trellises are going to be for. In between here, I've got smaller pepper plants. I believe they're jalapenos. I have to go look at my chart. And this potato box, I believe I can probably fill in now. One thing to keep in mind with when you're doing these potato pots, use the same variety of potato. Don't switch it up because they grow. Some of them grow faster. I've noticed that the reds grew a little faster than the other ones. And if you remember looking at the other one, the yellows were, you know, 2 or 3 inches tall. The reds were, you know, almost a foot tall. So one thing to keep in mind is use the same variety when you're doing that. Just it makes it easier for when you're filling in. So that's one thing I've picked up that I'm gonna pass on to y'all. Now we got our green section here. You can see our kale kind of wilted a little bit. And I just put some water on it, and it should stand back up here. And hopefully by the end of the video, I can show you that it stood back up. But your greens are really going to take a hit in the heat. And all you got to do is just give it a little bit of water, and they're ready to roll. All right, we're going to head on over to the big garden now. I'm going to show you what's going on over there. Let me show you what we got going on here. First of all, I've got two varieties of corn. I've got Silver King and Silver Queen. One of them will, I can't remember off the top of my head, but one of them will produce about a week earlier than the other. So I decided to mix the two in. They kind of came up wherever they wanted to, really. I've got a lot of holes. I think my seeder, my push planter, might have missed a couple of seeds when it was going through, but all in all, I still got a lot of corn that's going to be coming up. And this right here are the three different varieties of potatoes that I had. I got reds, whites, and yellows, and they've been doing great. There wasn't a lot of movement with them until probably about 2 weeks ago, and then they popped up and they started shooting up, and can't wait to eat potatoes. Of course, going with potatoes, I've got beans here. I've got these are purple beans, purple string beans. So they should be cool. I've never had them, but they give a bean that's about maybe a foot long. So we're going to give that a shot. They look delicious. And when you come back through here, this row of beans that's on this trellis, these are all lima beans. I love some lima beans. So I've got a lot of them coming up. I planted about three beans at the bottom of every V. So that's going to produce a lot of lima beans. So if we come on up here, right here, I've got, what are these beans here? These are called Cherokee purple, or they're not Cherokee Trail of Tears beans. They're an heirloom bean. We're going to see how they go out. They kind of look like a pinto a little bit. And on the other side, when we get down there, I'll show you some painted ponies that I've got going on as well. These are the leeks that I planted about a month and a half ago, and they've been doing great. They haven't really gotten thick yet. They definitely have gotten thicker from when I planted them. But sometimes your leeks will get half inch to an inch thick, and we're planning on having potato leek soup when they're ready to be harvested. Now when you come through here, this area here, it's a little slackened, but I've got peppers and potatoes, or peppers and tomatoes planted here. Those were actually from seedlings, so they're kind of taking their time coming up along with the rest of these rows. These are Cherokee purple tomatoes. We try to incorporate a little bit of the heirloom and organic stuff just to kind of spice it up. These are our yellow tomatoes. These have been doing really well. And in this grassy little area right here are supposed to be Tabasco pepper plants. They're there. I don't know if you can see this or not. They're coming up, but they're kind of taking their sweet time. But I plan on making some pepper sauce, hot sauce with them. Here we've got collards, beets. Those are collards here. These are beets. These are carrots right here. Then we got mustards coming up here. They're looking great. All of these are looking great. Let's come over. Let's walk around this side here and look at our cucumbers. Well, there was a cucumber there until Jeannie stepped on it. I think it's going to be all right. But we've got cucumbers coming up at each one of these tripods. We've got more leeks right here. On top of that, we've got other pepper plants. We've got a ton of tomatoes coming up over here. We got peppers down there. We've got more tomatoes coming up here, which I'm going to use this this trellis to brace them up once they start getting tall enough. Here, I've got some sugar snap beans growing, and they're doing great. They should hopefully in the next week find this trellis and start really climbing up. Come on down here. I've got pepper plants. These are big boy jalapenos. These are going to put out a pepper about 6 inches or so. It's going to be great for poppers. Then come on down here a little further. And these are our habaneros. These things are going to light you up. I don't know if I can handle it or not, but I'll grow it. Down here, I've got spaghetti squash growing. We like spaghetti squash. We like to make pasta with it. It's kind of a replacement for a noodle, and you just got to get over the fact that it's not a noodle, but it's good. These mounds, I got 3 mounds here. These are cantaloupes, and these just started coming up. I planted these just the other day. And these 2 rows right here, I've got on this row over here, I've got squash. I've got 2 varieties of squash. One's a straight neck and one's the regular yellow squash. And then I've got a couple varieties of zucchinis growing beside it. So we'll let's come on down this way a little further. Down here I've got, I don't know if you can see this right here or not. I've got, these are my painted pony beans. These are a bush type bean. They'll get about maybe 3 foot tall, 2 or 3 foot tall, and they'll put out quite a bit of beans. They kind of look like pintos a little bit. They're speckled. They're really cool looking. So that's another heirloom variety of beans. And then I've got some watermelons underneath these tripods going. We'll see how that goes. And then of course I have more beans. I got a lot of beans. And finally, more beans. I grew a lot of beans this year. I don't know why. I really like beans. So from there, I'm gonna show y'all what the rest of my irrigation system looks like. I've shown it to you, but I've never shown it to you running. And we'll see. So here's what my sprinkler system looks like. I can only run 2 at a time. I can't run the 3rd one with it because it doesn't have the pressure. But this right here, these 2 right here will definitely take care of this end of the garden and keep everything well watered. So like I said in the beginning of the video, you definitely want to make sure that you can put a lot of water on these things, especially when you get some hot 90-degree days. If not, you're gonna have some hurting vegetables. So that's basically what I got going on right now. That's just a quick update, and look forward to doing another video here shortly now that we're in the growing season. So look forward to hearing from you again. This is John with Tidewater Gardener.